Well, it's great to see everybody in person. It's been a few years. Austin, Jesse's here with me. So
Nice to
those
meet
who
you,
haven't met
everybody.
Jesse Weiss, he's the litigation arm of the firm. So that's kind of what we want to talk to you guys about today.
Oh, I didn't know that. So you're the one who does all the litigation.
Going fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day, so when Susan would tell me a long time ago back, she's like, I had to stop because I could get into it. And sometimes before you guys came along, I would have her go and just even write an email to somebody. And I mean, it was like, but also not mean, but like very poignant, to the point. And that's where I get, please govern yourself accordingly. Is because she would write that at the bottom. Yes. And so I put that at the bottom anytime as a broker that I have to like go at it. It's because of her that she did it. So now I know you're the one that we need to come to for the email. The email. And then I also want to tell you this. So I would say over the past, I'm going to say 6 or 8 months. So the agents have been saying, what is Austin drinking? What is in his coffee? What is he eating? What is he doing? And I'm like, what? They're like, well, he used to be like, well, blah, blah. Now he's like, oh, rah, 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 rah. And so I was like, he must be getting comfortable with us. So they're like, you're like all in, like ready to go. Yeah. Which is, I've always seen you that way, but I mean, the more comfortable you get with people, the more you're able to like have that like straightforward conversation and kind of take the jacket off. And so it was exciting to hear that from a lot of our agents, because I was like, good, then you guys are talking and you guys are making good relationships with them, because you're our only one and you always will be. You guys have been my only one since before I ever got into real estate. And so yes, and we won't have anyone else ever. So we appreciate all you do, and then I will now give the floor back to you.
No, please cover yourself. Really, some of y'all know I also carry that. It's surprising. It really kind of sometimes will make things go.
Yeah. Gives people the pucker effect.
But if it doesn't work out, then that's where Jesse comes in.
Nice to know.
Up at the door, and you got to go down to court.
I love it.
Yeah, and I generally kind of want to talk about just sort of the default scenario. What happens when you've got a client, and this came up recently. Somebody's under contract and they're set to close. They're past all their contingencies, and then now they're investigating the neighborhood, and they realize I can't buy this home because it's just not safe for me and my children. So figure out a way out. So obviously the first step in that case is, well, let's look at everything with the contracts. Are we in fact past everything? Have we missed the HOA docs? And you guys know these. You got 3-day rescission period for receiving those documents. Of course, you have that financing contingency that's in place up and through the date of closing. And sometimes, and I've seen this, and the lenders can speak to that, but where a lender is able to send an email and, hey, you know what, things are changed, actually this doesn't work out, and that'll get a buyer out of contract. So you want to take a close look at all of those things first. And if in fact you are past that time period, then you want to have that come to Jesus speak with the client, basically what it looks like to actually default under this contract. What does that mean for you? So in a default situation, your client could be in a situation of having to put the defaulting party in the position they would be had there not been a breach of the contract. So if your client is the buyer and they're looking to default on the contract, well, what is it going to cost this seller as a result of your default? And depending on what's going on with that situation, and that those numbers can vary wildly. Right? This seller under contract to buy, they're moving up, and they need the down payment from the sale of this property to purchase their dream home, their new construction. They face daily penalties. So those are going to be, you're going to want to have that discussion with the client to say, okay, this is what you're looking at. If you're looking to get out of this contract, it's probably going to cost you. Okay, now we'll offer our services, and many of you know this. You have, when that conversation comes up before you reach out to the other agent, just go ahead and tell them, hey, talk to the attorneys at Jones Walker Lake. You guys know I'm on the phone, I'm available, and I'll chat and have that conversation with your folks, and give them the heart to heart. Hopefully, I can sort of explain the situation well enough to where they weigh it and they go, you know what, maybe we should close because it's just not going to be worth, I'm going to try to have that conversation with them and explain how it's going to work out. But, sometimes it doesn't happen. And we had one recently where fortunately we were able to negotiate settlement. Listings right now, it was a multiple offer situation, so the seller was able to pivot and move elsewhere. But in that situation, the agent went ahead and reached out to the listing agent and already told him, hey, look, my buyer's wanting to get out of the contract. So you do that cuts the buyer's legs out from them. You really do remove a lot of that negotiating power. So, and something, so what in the conversation I had was, hey, let's take a look at, maybe what's going on with the pick. So in some instances, we'll see, you got a 2-page pick row with items that need to be repaired. All of those things need to be done. And you guys know, you get to close, you get to walk through, it turns out, a contractor missed something, or maybe they invoiced for it. They in fact didn't do that work. Well, the contract says time is of the essence, and there's no delay the contract closing date due to repairs not being. Get 2 reasons to extend the contract. You can process loan, so a buyer is able to get an extension for that, or if a seller, maybe there's title issues that need clearing up. Those are things that you can delay the closing for. But aside from that, so here's maybe at least muddy the water. Technically, if there's a repair that's not done, the party should give a notice of default, say, hey, this wasn't taken care of, give the other party an opportunity to remedy or cure the default. And then, you would have to, if they don't cure the default, then you could get out of the contract. But at least under that scenario, you have what, it looks murky at that point. And something else to consider too is who's representing the other side. Is it a title company on the other side? Well, may help your client, right? If they're going to have to hire an attorney to maybe look at this and pursue the default, those are big barriers as opposed to, Shaheen or Hanger, one of these other, they've got an attorney on their side that they can also talk to and say, hey, what's this look like here? And then just, the consideration of, okay, well, if it turns out we're going to end up having to go to court to maybe litigate this thing. Maybe your client's a seller and they want to pursue the buyer for the default. And I'll tell the buyer this too, like the seller, if they're going to pursue you, they're going to have to hire an attorney, pay a deposit, file a lawsuit, go through that process to try to enforce the contract. Oftentimes that's thousands of dollars out of pocket. So those are things, that all can be weighed and considered on whether to first get out of the contract, and if to get out of the contract, and maybe what that looks like. So at this point, I'll just turn it over to Jesse as far as like the litigation side.
Yeah, thanks, Austin. We're now going to be known as the Beards-in-Law.
Oh,
No, it's nice.
Jones Walker and the Beards.
Yeah.
Got it. It's like a great band.
I have dealt with numerous number of issues that have come up with the work that you all do. And so I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but I'll just kind of pick up where Austin left off. And number one is like, depending on if your client's the seller or the buyer, is going to depend on kind of what happens next. But I'll just say one of the most important things you can tell your client is the issue of time. Because most of my clients, once they no longer become your client and they become my client, they want this resolved quickly. And in some instances, it needs to be resolved quickly. So for example, if you have a client who is a buyer and the seller breaches and they still want to buy the house, there are things that we need to do immediately in order for us to procure that. It's called specific performance, and there is a process by which you can force the seller to actually sell that house to your client. But there are actions that need to be taken immediately in order for us to be successful in doing that. So time is important there, right? So if you are representing a buyer, the seller breaches, they still want to purchase that property, you get on the phone with Austin, he'll get in touch with me and we'll be able to assist you with that. Now, if you're representing a seller and the seller, breaches, time is also, an issue because, or I'm saying, if you represent the buyer and the buyer breaches, time can be an issue. Because what can happen in Virginia, the statute of limitations to sue under a contract, written contract is 5 years. So basically, they have 5 years to bring a suit, and a lot of times what will happen is if the buyer breaches, the seller is gonna wait. Because in Virginia, anytime there's a breach of contract, there's a breach, the other party has a duty to mitigate the contract, which means to stop the amount of damages from continuing to increase. Okay, so if you're a seller, you mitigating that means that you've gotta try to resell it. You gotta be actively trying to put it back on the market. Now, specifically with this market, the volatile, interest rates, things of that nature, I've already seen where, a buyer breaches, the seller wants to relist, and now they can't get the same price because the interest rates have gone up, and there's all these types of things. They're having to wait a longer time to sell the property, as you guys are all familiar with, right? So that becomes an issue when you start looking at damages, which is what you have to be able to sue for a contract. The fact that there's a breach is one thing, but you have to have damages. You have to have monetary damages. And so if you're the seller, those damages can look like, well, I sold the house at a less amount than I was contracted to under the initial contract. That's a damage to me. I have carryover costs. I've had to pay, it took me 3 extra months, 6 extra months to actually sell the house, which means I'm paying my mortgage, paying my other things. Maybe I couldn't buy another house. So there's lots of things that kind of come into play, but typically what happens is the seller will wait to see what all those damages are as they accrue. And so your client, if you're representing the buyer and they're the breaching party, they may think, oh, well, everything's fine, and then out of the blue, you're going to get served and they're going to get sued. And they're gonna be like, what is going on? So that is just something to have a conversation with them about when when you kind of see these things arise. But I will just say the best solution is to not go to court. Okay, the best solution is to come up with some kind of resolution where you can get a release, get a release, even if it's just payment of some money in between parties is going to be the cheaper and the best option. And we certainly provide those services as well. And I'll just say, there's kind of litigation with your client, and there's also when you talk about commissions and, agents suing for commissions and because of breaches, and we've represented agents in those capacities, independent agents as well. So I think that, all of those types of things come into play. When you think about damages, if your client's suing, sometimes it's advantageous depending on your broker's position on going after commissions, but sometimes it's advantageous to jump on the bandwagon. So there's certain things to just consider there. I'll just always say, when you go to court, the most important thing is there's 2 things. There's the facts and the law. And they always say, if you don't have the facts on your side, argue the law. If you don't have the law on your side, argue the facts. But if you don't have either, don't go to court. But facts are so important, and this is a very fast-moving industry. You're trying to write a contract, trying to get the client, trying to move it forward. Everybody's yelling, you have a whole bunch of different things happening at one time. When you write your papers, just make sure they're clear, they're specific. We know what it means. Your buyer broker agreements, just make sure that it's clear what that is. And so those become the facts of the case, right? And so when you try to pinpoint the breach, what did or didn't happen is very clear. Make sure you're using licensed contracts. These types of things, just make sure that you're doing all the things and documenting them appropriately. Do a final walkthrough and write it down if you can. I know I don't see that a lot. Sometimes that comes up. And it would be nice to have as a factual basis for bringing us to.
You can see that from one of my agents. I want to.
A lot bigger view here, but that's just a simple, from my perspective. And, even if we didn't represent, seller wanting to sue. You're looking at, depending on the amount of damages, whether you're gonna be in general district court or whether circuit court is gonna matter. What I generally tell agents, if you wanna sue in general district court and go all the way to trial, you should expect to spend at least $5,000 for it. So if you're looking at, you know, hey, is this the cost benefit analysis? Is it worth it to my client? You know, it also depends if the other party's gonna pay attorney's fees. For new builds, contracts for new builds, generally, you know, there's mediation clauses involved here, which are conditions precedent to bringing a suit. So there's all these types of contractual things that become trigger whenever you issue a suit. Just drags this on. Typically, you know, you're looking at 18-month resolution, depending on the amount of money and what court you're in. For long.
Oof.
So.
Everybody has to sign.
Sometimes if it's a law firms may determine breach a little bit better than a title company,
Oh, yeah.
and so they'll release it based on their kind of determination of it. But if it's a title company, most of the time they won't release it. Sometimes if a law firm, you can bully a little title.
Any questions online? No. Anybody else in here with any questions? Okay.
So.
So like, in order for you to be successful in suing for breach of contract, which means that it has to be so essential to the essence of the contract. Whether a pick or a repair actually kind of repair you're talking about, level repair. So a picker repair in and of itself may or may not. So, but what generally happens is, let's say your clients go ahead and close, and let's say a repair was done by someone who wasn't licensed. That person is a third party beneficiary. You can, or your client is a third party beneficiary. You can sue your client who purchases the home, could sue that contractor for either poor performance, you know, negligence, things like that, and get compensated. Now, it's a little tricky, because sometimes you do need to pull the seller in, because it just depends, but that's why your PICRA matters, because I just litigated the case where it was all about the PICRA. And what the new buyer said, they bought this house, they had a termite inspector come in, the termite inspector, they felt like didn't do the work. But all the PICRA said was repair these small little things. Well, they agreed that he did that, but he also did more work. So because the PICRA didn't apply to that, then they couldn't hold the termite liable. So it really depends on what you have going. Still, yes, I mean, that would be helpful, at least in the case that I just mentioned, certainly helpful. My point is just be clear what you want fixed, right? What is fixed, what's under the PICRA. And so everybody understands what you're agreeing to, because ultimately this is contract. So like, if you can't determine the meaning of the minds between that PICRA addendum, then nobody really knows what everybody's agreeing to. And judges are they're more lenient to apply something against a party if they feel like, you know, they didn't really, especially a person who may not even have met either of those parties and is out here just doing work.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Cragen, you are up next, sir. Yep. Well, I think we might be a little frozen, but keep going. I'll get it up there.
I tell you, it's a lot easier going after the lawyers when they're in person. So thank you for coming. Now, all jokes aside, I'm gonna piggyback a little bit on the termite moisture thing that you just brought up, because I had this come up recently, and we had a home that, there was a termite and moisture issue. It was identified there was moisture damage and there was termite damage. On the termite and moisture, it was a VA loan, so it was required. So big picture on that, and this is for the buyer agent and the selling agent, because the listing agent, they didn't understand, basically, the best way to put it. And I literally ad nauseum wrote multiple different very detailed paragraphs, what it is and why we need it, guidelines, all the things with snippets of the guideline, because I try to be very transparent, because once somebody doesn't understand, the engineer in me wants to kick in and say, all right, well, let's sit down and talk about this for the next 5 minutes, so that you do understand, because I really want you to understand what you're looking at, so that we don't, or we're not, I hate rework. Nobody likes to do rework. Used to call it deficiency reports or deficiency logs when we had to do that when I worked in the shipyard. Nobody wants to do rework, ever. I know Munish and Nikki, how many times do you want to do rework on any of your rehab? Never. So, basically, the lady got, on the termite and moisture report literally said there's identifiable damage and there's identifiable moisture. So they said, oh, okay, so we just need to spray. So they go and spray the wood that was damaged. I said, no, ma'am, you have to replace the wood and then spray. She's like, so we're gonna go and rip out the wood that we just sprayed. I said, yes, because that wood is damaged. She's like, well, I thought to get a clear letter, we just need to spray. I said, no, it's in the report that you sent me, that you all sent me, that it literally says there's damaged wood and there's damage, and it needs to be sprayed for it. It's a moisture. Present. Long story short, I actually figured out that the lady me and the buyer's agent decided that the lady just had no idea, because I literally explained it 3 separate times on 3 separate days. And some people just don't understand. So yeah, basically I bring that to your attention to let you know, if you get a termite moisture report, regardless of flow type, make sure you read it and you understand it. And if you don't understand it, just ask the termite moisture company or ask the lender. Maybe the lender can interpret it for you. I've got a great team that, yes, I can read it, but I also send it to my team because they're the expert. They're the one that's the former underwriter. They're the one that's going to really review it with a fine tooth comb and say, no, this is what needs to be. So that was great. I appreciate that. It kind of sparked my memory. I always try to bring something that happened recently. With rates, we all know rates are kind of going up. They're kind of going down. Last week wasn't a great week. This week wasn't a great week, or hasn't been a great week. I mean, it's one of those things where I think we're just going to fluctuate from 1/8 to 1/4 of a point over the next couple weeks, and then we'll just see until the next inflation and jobs reports, because every time there's an inflation report or there's a jobs report or, the CPI index and all these different things, they affect the market. So whenever anybody asks me about rate, I shoot them a number, right? But just know that it fluctuates literally 1/8 of a point. Literally. And it's a thing. We just hope that it doesn't trend to 1/8 of a point, 1/8 of a point, 1/8 of a point, 1/8 of a point. And now we went from 6.75 to 7.5, which it does happen, right? So feel free to reach out and say, the standard, what do you all ask your lenders every time you see them when you haven't seen them in a while? What's the rate today? I just laugh. I'm like, okay, well, here's what it is. Anyway, so I appreciate the question, because your clients are asking you the same exact thing, because that's the hot button topic. Okay. So that was pretty much that. Did anybody have anything happen in the last, I don't know, however long? I'm gonna do some stuff the broker real quick. Anything they want to ask me?
Stump the lender, not the broker.
Well, well, it's like part of that.
Yeah.
Anybody? No? Okay. If you think
Okay.
of something in the next 2 minutes, shout it out. So you may know that I'm an in-house lender at a new build that's opening on, it's being constructed on 22nd Street. It's 6 no-fee condos. So I'd like to let you know, in case you have people shopping in the 700 range. It's 3 stories. The second floor just went live about a week or so ago. So if you have any questions about that, it's great. We're offering a 1% builder credit for seller concessions, and we are offering as an in-house under $2,000 additional towards closing costs. So if you have anybody in that range, it's a no-fee condo, correct? It's 3 stories. So it's one structure, right? So if there's an issue with the roof, then they're gonna have to all come together and fix the roof. That's what they'll have to- Yeah. The third- Correct. Yeah, so, the one that's going up right now, not, and the next question is, what about short term? It is in the short term rental district, the houses across the street, 122nd Street are short term rental. However, the builder wants to leave it in the hands of people that are buying that condo. If all three people, if me and Jimmy and say Chet, we all three buy a section, and we all say, hey, we're gonna short term rental this thing, guess what? All you gotta do is change those condo docs because you free of it, right? But basically, the builder didn't want to say, oh, well, it's definitely short-term rental or not. He wants to leave it up to people to buy it. So anyway, that's the only thing in case y'all have anybody that are shopping in that range or have. 20 to 760, depending on the level. They are gonna have, electric EV chargers in the back. They are having, the third floor does have an elevator, comes with an elevator, second floor does not. But yeah, if you want any more information, I can get you the address. Kind of like our little baby. Especially for Brandon when he gets. When I say Brandon, April 21st, the Sunday, we have a football tournament. Coastal Town is very nice, and thank you, Thomasina. They're one of the platinum sponsors or top level sponsors of the team.
Did I send you the money for that yet?
Yes.
Okay.
We did a co-sponsorship last year. We did we're doing a co-sponsorship this year, so thank you, Coastal Town. But that being said, we still need more sponsors. We need raffle prizes. So if you have a business that you love and you want to drop off a $20 gift card to me for raffle prize, that's great. I appreciate it. More than anything, I'd love to have all of you out there and your friends and family. $20 blind draw, it's a cornhole tournament. And you said it was a great turnout. We had like 70 people come out and play cornhole. We had like another probably 30 or 40 show up just to hang out. 10% of the proceeds from Chicho's goes to the team, which they are very nice to do that. And I'm very blessed to have them in my life to be able to give back to our.
It was a good time last year. A lot of people came out. It's a great networking event, even if you just come out to hang out. You don't want to sponsor personally. I actually, Coastal Town sponsored, but I'm sponsoring it personally with my name and Coastal Town. But it's a great networking event. It really is. There's a lot of people that come out. Cornhole is actually really popular in our area. I didn't realize how popular it was.
Well, the thing is, it's a blind draw. So
Yeah, it's a blind draw. You can't bring a ringer. You can bring a ringer, but you're not guaranteed to be with the ringer.
You can come out. Well, basically, Manish can come out and I can come out and say, I want to play together. That's how it works. Manish will pay $20. I'll pay $20. Manish gets one of the wrestlers on the team, and I get the number 2 14-year-old in the nation.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that.
That's exactly what it is. Also, it's one-on-one, basically. Get lined up. It's Chicho's 29th Street. You know, I love Chicho's. So.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Chicho's 29th Street, right on, not Atlantic, Pacific. I can't think. It starts at 12 and bags fly at 1. I put the event, I shared it on your Coastal Town page yesterday.
Okay.
So you can sign up on Scorehole Go. If anything, even if you don't sign up on Scorehole Go, please just say you're coming and you bring the money there. It's $20 there. You can even sign up there. So love to have you. Love to have your friends. It's gonna be a great time. And then one last thing, May 25th. Took longer than I expected. I apologize. May 21st, we're doing the Coastal Town and FN annual Freedom Boat Club event where it's a great time when we come out. It is unlimited to I think 24 people ish. So, you're allowed to bring a plus one.
Yep,
As long as she says, okay.
But we need to know who's
Well, we
coming.
need to know. So it's a great time. We have light hors d'oeuvres. We bring drinks, wine and beer, and it's a good time. And I drive a boat. Bob drives a boat. And yeah.
And if we need more, I drive the boat too, but
Please sign up. I don't know if there's a Facebook page for it yet.
no, you gotta go through me to sign up. Because I have to keep track of who's going, who's doing a +1, because the Facebook page does not do the +1. So you have to go through me to sign up. Just email or text me and I will add you to the list.
It's a great time. Hope you guys go. May 21st.
Yes.
And that is, I'd say, come to the dock at 6 p.m. That's what it starts. And we get away about 7:30, 7:50. Usually about a 45-minute. Then we ask them to have.
All right. That is very true, but we do have a lot of fun. We do have a lot of fun right there on the dock. But yes, some boats are more fun than others, but we go around and then we also, watch them take down the colors, and it's a really nice time, and there's appetizers and drinks, but it's a really good time. All right. For some reason, it just keeps on, it tries to freeze, but then I don't know why it's like taking its time. Like I hit it and then it comes up. There we go. All right, come on. Alex, Brandon, woo. So would you all put a builder's risk policy on that? Is that what you guys will be doing? You put a builder's risk policy on that? Is that what you would do with the question earlier? I'm assuming. Hey guys, remember we don't have any microphones, so when they're talking, we need to be a little bit more quiet, only because the people online, they're saying they can't hear with the background talking. We'll have microphones next time, but the background talking. Yeah, that's what I figured, but I didn't know for sure if that's what you would do.
That one is a little complicated, so, it's really depend on the owners. Separate. None of the guys in there, like, if you guys aren't.
You're fine.
If they do not get a good insurance rate. So I highly suggest them shopping it out. And also a reminder, 2 quick reminders is that we do have a reward program for our partners. You all get $20 in a PayPal account for every auto quote we're able to furnish your clients. We cannot give for written business and we cannot give for the homeowner quote because obviously we want to keep you RESPA compliant. We are the ones that solicit the auto quote, so it doesn't have to be written, but we don't have to sell it. We just have to quote it. So if you all are interested in that, let us know. And then the other.
I'm sorry. You shop carriers.
Yes,
Is that what you do?
yes. So we're a broker. We shop over, is it 40 carriers now?
40, yeah, in Virginia, depends what state, so I think right in the last state.
Almost all but Geico. That's why we have Geico as well, because they can't shop Geico, but they can shop all the others.
Yes.
went to that too, happened to me yesterday. Hate to see it, but I did lose. What I had. Oh, and she was like, yeah, USA actually came with a hot rate on the home, so I'm gonna go with that one. I- she covered this for us.
Can you guys speak up a little bit? They're having a hard time.
So she was super grateful that I did that, even though she ended up going to USAA, she did help me out. She sent me her mom, because mom's buying property, as well. So she sent her on over me and I'm getting ready to ship off her quote for you. So although it happens rarely, we do have the best interest of the client at heart. And so that is our. And then the other pertinent thing for you guys that I really want to kind of put in your head is, so condos and townhouses. This was kind of coming as a shock, per se, but they are increasing, like insurance has drastically kind of increased with those. So, I know a lot of that is a little bit more lender side, but it is good on you guys, to kind of prep your clients for that as well. Insurance on the condos and townhouses are not as cheap and cost effective as we used to, so we're working around that. Of course, as always, we have our need, but just something to keep in your head. As always, knowledge is power. So you gotta know your
Speak up really loudly.
Okay. So from 2023 to 2024 year over, what percentage would you say the condo insurance is worth? Or like maybe a price range? Because I'm usually telling my clients a range that they can expect to hear, so this is,
yeah.
yeah.
I would say very typically we were, especially condos. Townhouses are a little bit more, but condos were about 600 to 800 for the year. That was give or
Okay.
take, kind of where we were landing. I would say now we add about 200 bucks. Between 8 to about 1,000.
They used to be as low as 400 back in the day, not too, I mean, that's
Yeah,
like,
they are sneaking up quickly. And so I don't know if you guys know the big reason for the increase when it comes to insurance. The biggest thing is what's called reinsurance. So every insurance company has its own insurance for obviously natural disasters. When they need to pay out, they need big lump sums of money. Because of storms everywhere, like not just coastal here, but everywhere, Florida, Houston, big things. Storms cost more. The billion-dollar storms keep hitting more and more often. So insurance for insurance companies is jumping up. So that's why we're seeing that. Much like everything else on the market, we're kind of hit like a nice teetering point now. And I think as we kind of accelerate towards the end of the year, we are going to start to see them kind of come down to 10, which I think is good. But like I said, just want to kind of give you guys the background of what we are living.
So, a couple questions, that you may not be able to answer on this moment, but one update randomly, I love Norfolk. The, HRBT, or sorry, the floodgate, resilience, right? That is slightly paused because of what happened in Baltimore. So just a heads up that like the Army Corps of Engineers is now kind of like trying to figure out what they're going to do over there. And so like they're pausing on us for a second. It doesn't mean that they're going to put us like way behind, but just in general. So on that though, it got me thinking, once that is done, what's going to happen to our potential flood policies? We're talking about how flood policies are up and up and up and all this, and some places are not even getting flood insurance at this point. Not seeing that here yet, but there's talks. So what happens when that floodgate project is complete? Can we expect to see those come down? Can we expect to see floodplains rezoned?
I would say yes. Now, the question I think there is how quick. Private market flood is going to adapt to that much quicker. I think you're going to see a turnaround within the 6 months. They're probably going to re-rate and go to the district to kind of get updated, figures of premiums for it. I would say typically like FEMA, like the Progressive a lot where we write them. FEMA, as you can imagine, anything government takes time. I'd probably say more like a year. I'm just on safe end with that, but I would definitely believe so. they would rezone and redistrict and kind of set up. And, you know, probably will be excellent as far as the change that we've seen. When FEMA did their redistricting about 2 years ago, we saw a lot of premiums drop significantly, like on the outskirts, and they really kind of centered it towards the places that really need it. Super coastal waterfront properties, they need it. You know, I think it'll be much more accurate and it'll be really good, but yeah, I'd say about 6 months for private, probably like a year.
For Boston T-Bar.
That's cute. Again, all this you do not pay for. It is brought to you every single month by Evertree. You just have to go out there and make them, and they're super cute, and you give them out. You can give them out to your neighbors, you give them out to people on your kids' baseball team, daycares. Some people go to the firefighters and police stations, whatever it is. It's great, Popeyes. It's great to get your name out there.
Fantastic. Any questions for me? Anyone virtual?
Nothing virtual, but I do need a picture of you.
So
So
my
sometimes I have the hardest questions, right? Like, it's so hard.
You can subscribe to my OnlyFans. All my pictures are on there.
Got it. I'll just put the link up. I'll put the link up and y'all can go. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Awesome. All right, next up, virtually, Tina is on here, or Maddie, one or both. Or both.
Just me today.
There she, oh, it does not very loud. Go ahead.
Can you not hear me? It's just me today, but, and I told Madison, the only thing I was gonna talk about really quick is if you are working with clients and you're getting a home inspection and things are wrong on the home inspection, and you are considering telling your clients or recommending to your clients to get a home warranty, to please call us first so we know what's going on and can guide you into getting the correct documentation so they will have coverage when they close on the house. We've had a lot of instances recently where listing agents are not having things repaired and just giving home warranties, and it's a bad start for a buyer on the other side because those are pre-existing conditions that cannot be covered until they've been corrected. So big thing that's happening. I will gladly say it's not happened with your office, so I'm super excited, but it is happening, and we want to try to nip it in the butt before it gets even more out of control.
Awesome. Awesome. Is it not up there?
Nope, no.
Well, we need to put that up there. Yes, it's a Choza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, she's on there. You can ask her a question. Just be real loud.
Just say something about a mistake that I made, and Tina reached out to me about it, but I totally wasn't, I wasn't as aware as I should have been about the mistake that I made. I feel bad, and I'm not gonna do it in the future. But with 2 of my listings, I got seller warranties in place, and then I did not communicate with them about when closing was. And what that did was it didn't give them the opportunity to reach out to the buyer. We
Okay.
weren't giving the home warranty, but I totally did not communicate with them when the closing was. And then a week later, oh my gosh, you know, obviously we don't need this anymore. But I think that we owe it to them to let them know, hey, it's not part of the closing for us to give it to the buyer.
Mhm.
To still give them the opportunity to reach out to the buyer.
Gotcha.
Just a little something that I got kind of.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yep.
if it's not going to the buyer, then the seller does pay at closing.
No,
Coverage?
no.
No.
The seller doesn't.
Oh,
Unless it's like HVAC
upgrade. They
Okay.
paid like $60 for the HVAC.
No, they
upgrade.
don't, not even with a Choza do they pay for an upgrade to add the H factor on the listing.
But, okay, so they put the coverage in place for the listing.
Zero cost.
You've
Correct.
that coverage for your PICRA repairs and you're not paying for it?
No, we didn't access we didn't have to
if you
use the
do.
warranty at all. That's a different.
She's saying if you do though, so if you do,
If you access the warranty for PICRA repairs, then does the seller pay for that warranty at closing?
They pay for the deductible.
Only if it's negotiated into the contract.
meaning they pay for it to go towards the buyer at the end. for
Towards the
ongoing.
buyer, correct. And that's if it's negotiated in. I think I heard somebody and it was Low saying, if it's not negotiated in, we just would like to know who the buyer's agent is, so we can educate the buyer's agent that their client can purchase it themselves.
But they do have to pay the deductible if they use it during the
Correct.
time.
This makes this a complete no-brainer. Why would you have a listing and not have this on?
Correct.
100%. That's why I.
Yeah, this has been going.
Yeah, for sure. If they have specific questions, Thomasina, I see you've got our numbers up there. Just reach out and let us have a conversation with you because we're happy to and answer any questions that you have.
Yeah, I've been doing this for at least 10 years. Yeah, I mean, even maybe longer, but I used to require it to be on every single listing. It's a little hard when I don't see a lot of people, coming in, but it's crazy not to have it when they don't pay anything. Yeah. Yeah. But their info's up there if you want to call them, text them, FaceTime them, whatever you'd like to do. Their info's right there.
Correct. Yep.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Dina.
you. We'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you. So we also have KB Core. For those of you that have been coming into the classes, they are just wonderful because we get to sit here and have camaraderie during it. It's the same classes that you can get online. That's why we're not putting them on our YouTube channel or Zoom, because you guys can just go into KB. Yeah, get them. There's no point in us re-recording the same thing, but it's great. You can utilize all of our listings. So even if you don't have listings, which I know I keep saying this, but believe it or not, there's people out there that didn't even know we had KB Core. So my mind is completely blown on that, by the way. Like completely blown away. But there is all kinds of training on there, but with a click of a button, you can just advertise directly to your Facebook, all of our listings, even if you don't have any, and it's all right there, all the info and everything, your info, our info, it's just click of a button. It took like 2 seconds. Chrissy went and spent a couple hours last week or this weekend, one or both. Yeah. Anyway, she went through and she put everything in and she has gotten a ton of responses. So basically what she did was she put out a text and possibly emails and different advertisement. Yeah. And it just said, just wanted to make sure you're still on my list to get updated properties. And it was like, I mean, it all came in.
Like, oh God. It just went and went.
Yeah.
Like, at first
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, what have I done?
Yeah, but it was great because the platform allows you to do that with unlimited text so that you don't have to pay for another platform to send out these texts to your clients. Yeah, 400 she sent out. And then it does the same thing with emails and whatnot. We don't have a class today because we have to head to North Carolina. There's a North Carolina meeting we have to be at. But again, you can actually go in and take any of these courses yourself. They're very self-explanatory and they go into deep detail on different things. It's wonderful. If you are not utilizing it, I don't know why. And there's a lot of you that have come to me and been like, hey, I want to know how I can advertise. I want to know what platforms. We got it for you. You don't have to pay for it. Last week, somebody called in and said, I have no idea what this is. How much is it? It's free. We gave it to you. It's free. We paid for it. The biggest concern I have right now with our brokerage is that the people who don't come to the classes and don't join us via Zoom or don't watch it later have no idea what's going on. Last week, somebody had a buyer and they had no idea that anything had changed with any contract whatsoever. That's scary, guys. That's a liability to you. It's a liability to us. And so moving forward with all the changes that we have, and this may sound a little harsh, but if you don't know what's going on, I'm going to assign a mentor to you because you have to navigate this market correctly. And a broker is not here to do your transaction for you. They're here to help you through it, but not to do it for you. They're not here to call the other side to negotiate. They're not here to tell you how much your home is worth that you're listing. They're not here to tell you, hey, let me do the CMA for you. They're not here to go through and show you how to negotiate your contracts or how to list them. They're here for the paperwork and for the legalities of it. If you don't have the ability to understand what's going on right now, because it's going so fast. And I look around you, most of you guys are already in these meetings, and again, it's probably, this is more so for the people that aren't even on Zoom or in here. I'm just literally talking to air right now, but it is, I mean, which is crazy, but you can't get upset with us whenever you call us and you don't even know how to fill out the form and then expect us to fill the form out for you. That's not a broker's job, guys. A broker's job is to help you through it, to make sure that you're safe, that you have the legalities right to answer the questions for you, but not to do the work for you. They don't get paid a commission. I don't get paid a commission on your deal. She doesn't get paid a commission on your deal. That's not how that works. So make sure that you are present and going through these things, even if you're not here or can't be on Zoom. Watch the videos. When I put something on our Facebook and I say, hey, you need to watch this, like I just did a couple weeks ago, whenever we had this whole thing come out about the new commissions and what's going on, you need to watch it. Guess what, North Carolina? You all aren't even going to be able to have commissions on the buyer side in your contract at all. At all. That's what's coming. Yeah, gasp. And that's a real gasp. Yeah. But you know what? You're not going to know that. And then guess what? If that's what's coming in North Carolina,
Trickle down.
you need to make sure you're watching what I put out there and that you're doing. And if you can't, why you're not scheduling a one-on-one with me or a mentor or someone, I have no idea. But you guys have got to be safe. We're here to help you be safe, but we're not here after you've already put the contract in. And then you're at the end and then you go, how come I didn't get any commission? I can't help it because it's already done. It's done. We got to come in beforehand. I told someone over the weekend, I was like, you have to ask if there's commission on this before you head in. Like, that's what's coming. And they're like, what? Yes, that's what's coming. That's what we've been talking about actually for a year and a half. Oh, no, it's April, 2 years. We've been talking about this for 2 years. And it's mind blowing to me that no one knows what's going on. So make sure that you're taking advantage. Okay, almost 3. Make sure you're taking advantage of what this brokerage is giving you. We give you the knowledge of combined 2 brokers with over 30 years experience and a wonderful law firm that gives you information free of charge in both avenues. Make sure that you utilize that. Don't go out there blind and not being able to understand what you need in order to get yourself paid and to get your client the right thing. So that might sound a little harsh, but definitely was needed because I've had a lot of questions over the last couple of weeks that it was just like oblivious as to what we have, what's going on and what's going on in real estate. And it was a little bit scary for me to see that. So moving on to something better and lighter, Lucy. If you could, yeah, I'm going to have you come up here and stand here just because they're having a little bit of a hard time hearing without the microphone. Thank you. No.
The big thing I'm seeing right now that I'm really concerned about is buyers and sellers who are entities, executors, and the like. On the listing side, if the name on the listing agreement does not match the tax records, I want to know who, why, and I want the documents to prove that we legally can put that house on the market. Okay? If I don't get it, you don't get your listing. And I'm going to send your documents back 7 times over, and you're going to change your dates until you get me those documents. You can say, well, but Jones, Walker, and Lake did the will and they know about it. I said, good, then you should have no trouble getting me the documents for our files. So I am legally putting that house on the market. Okay?
Yep.
Any arguments from the lawyer in the back of the room?
No, that's great.
There's 2 of them.
Lawyers, Yeah, but I don't want to try to take that litigation right away. We're gonna say,
Where's the Austin side? On the Austin side of the
we're
one.
gonna take. On the other side, I'm gonna be maybe a tiny bit more lenient, but not by much. Tiny bit more lenient. If you say to me, Jones Walker and Lake drew it up, they've got the LLC agreement or whatever, I'm gonna say, okay, your contract is okay, but I want those documents in our files. We are responsible for the proper documentation for all of the parties, and it all has to match, and we have to retain it for 3 years, just like you do. If we get audited and we don't have that, 2 years and 9 months from now, are you gonna be able to get me that document to save our butts? Not likely. So we're gonna do it up front the first time, the correct way. And you can be mad at me. I'm okay with that. Because I'm not, we've talked a bit about this. I don't do stripes or orange, not going to realtor jail for you.
Orange isn't my color.
Orange is not my new black.
No. Mm-mm.
Additionally, new forms that came out February 12th. I have done your cheat sheets. If you did not see, I have loaded them into the files in Facebook. If you are not a Facebook person, send me an email. I will be happy to email you the cheat sheets of those forms. If you have questions on those forms, call, text, email, send a dolphin, whatever you need. I will be happy to talk to you about them. I am not doing videos until July because we're not done with changes.
Yeah.
We're not done with changes. The market's too volatile. Things are going too fast for me to take the time right now away from reviewing your contracts and making sure things are good to do those videos.
Mhm.
So call me if you have a particular question about a particular item in a particular document.
Yep.
Chrissy.
May I have a cheat sheet folder in Brokerman, please?
In Brokerman?
No.
No, not in Brokerman, but it's on Facebook. It's in the
on
folders of
Facebook,
Facebook.
or I'll
The
email it
cheat,
to
the
you.
cheat sheet folder in Brokerman wouldn't help you because you would still have, like, you can't have it at the same time that you're going through the other ones. Yeah.
I'll email you the
Huh?
PDFs. You send me an email to compliance@coastaltown.com requesting the
Yeah.
cheat sheet packages. I've got a listing one.
I'll tell you what. Email me the packages. I'll email it to the whole firm.
There we go. Everybody's gonna get them whether you want them or not.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Yep, this Friday, Rebecca's doing a contract class here in the office and also on Zoom, and she will go over the cheat sheets. So you also have that too.
I already went over the purchase agreement one, but I'm happy to,
Okay, but the purchase agreement has changed as of February 12th.
I did.
Yeah, she did the, she
Okay.
did the one after.
Okay.
One more thing. Are you done with yours?
I'm done.
You can sit down.
Okay.
I don't want you to have to stand here if you don't have to. And you can head out if you want to, North Carolina. You gotta go. You gotta be there now. So one more thing. When we're closed and after hours, we cannot make changes if we're not here, right? So the weekend of Easter, we had multiple people put things in Friday, which one we were closed Good Friday, but also it was after hours, even if we were open, asking us to extend properties that were going to expire over the weekend. Caitlin's not here, guys. She's not here. We did it. We stopped. I stopped on Easter Day. Took care of 4 people on Easter Day, guys. I love you with all my heart, and I would take care of anything that was an emergency, and I will stop whatever I'm doing to make sure I am there for you. But this was just neglect. You guys knew that those properties were going to expire way beforehand. Not okay. There was only one of the 4 that actually was one that they were going to let it expire, and it actually went under contract. And they didn't get me on Easter. They got me the day before, but still, I will always stop to help you guys. You know that I am here for you, but that's a neglect on your part. You know, something's coming up, get it extended beforehand. And we can do it, but don't try to get the admin and everybody on Easter Day for something that you just happen to forget about. It's not okay. Hair on fire, I'm there. Listen, I'll say, Lord Jesus, one more, just one more, I'll be right back. And I will go on and I will help you. But that was a little bit nerve-wracking because here I am trying to like grab everything and do it. And it was rough. I had to actually call Lucy for help.
Extend the listing on Easter.
I go in and I hit the button.
The MLS?
In the MLS, I got to go in, sign in, pull it up, make some corrections, hit the button,
Okay, so
move
it
forward.
is physical.
It is. Mm-hmm. Yep. And it would have expired if not. Yeah, yeah, you know way beforehand, you know, actually 6 months in advance. So if you could just do it 1 week before, you know, or the Thursday before we close, you know, and I'm not saying that we're not here for you. We're always here for you. You guys know that. You guys know that. Even if I'm in something like, hey, I'll get right back to you, or I can text you, or whatever the case may be. But that was a little excessive because everyone had forgotten that this was coming up, but that's not okay. So make sure we do that. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and start this, and we're going to stop a few times, but I want you guys to see what's coming up. So here's the calendar of events. Stump the Broker has been really interesting, guys. You need to pop in here. It's been rocking and rolling with all the changes that are happening. So you need to make sure that you try to get in here for it. It's the one we don't record because we use names. I know. Yeah, it's every month, man. It's one of our most popular classes. Yep. All right, so we're gonna stop here for a second. These tickets are, I think it's $100 a piece if you buy them individually. So we already have our tables full that we bought, but if you would like to purchase tickets, you just need to go to the Hurrah website. You can get those. It's April 27th. And the before party for cocktail starts at 5 p.m. It's at the convention center at the beach, but there's going to be about 20 of us there already. So if you guys want to do that, definitely come. Grab your ticket from Hurrah. I don't sell them, they do. So just make sure you grab it from them. Congratulations to everybody for March, which was really great. I'll see you there. And which is what we're going to celebrate at the Derby. Good job, guys. We have a lot, which is good. Super proud of them. And then this is our anniversaries. Karen Sherrod, 2 years. Jordan Hoskins, 4 years, sorry, 4 years. Cap, Esther Lee, is Esther here? Yeah. Congratulations, Esther, on camping. And then our birthdays, Lauren, Brian, Ted, and Deja. Happy birthday. Awesome. The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is we have a new contest. And so it's posted all around the office. It's posted online. It's posted in our Facebook group. It was sent out in a text. It was sent out in an email. There's no way that anybody should not know that we do not have a contest. But guess what? We did the same thing for KV Core and all of the different changes for Rain, and still people didn't know. So, I felt the same way, whoever made that sign online. I want you guys, make sure you guys are muted online, because whoever made that sign we heard, but I also agree with it. But it's in here. There's a big poster outside, but there's lots of things you can win. Please look at them. And it's not just one person. If you hit the goal that's there, you get the iPad, you get the AirPods, you get the $500. So it's not just the first person or the only person or the highest person. It goes for everyone. It goes for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're capped or not capped. A lot of companies, they go, okay, well, you're capped, you can't participate, because they feel like they're not going to make any money off it. It's not like that here. Everyone can participate. Everybody can win. You get an iPad, and you get an iPad, and you get an iPad, and you get an iPad. Everybody gets an iPad. So just take a look at it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to explain that to you. Geico has also given us, they're the co-sponsor of this, have given us the money and the funds to be able to do this. So say hello to them and thank you to them. If you see them around about, they're not here today because they're in a conference. But that is the end of it. I want to close in prayer. And then everybody in North Carolina, we need to get the heck out of here because we got to go. All right. Lord, thank you so much for this wonderful day, this beautiful day that's going to be sunny inside and out. I thank you so much for all the people that are here and online. I know they're here to grow their business, and through you, we will succeed with that. For those who are not here or are having problems in their life right now, I just ask that you come down and you just put your hand on them and put your hand on their heart and on their business and let them know that we are here for them, you are here for them, and that we will all get through this. It's in your name we pray. Amen. All right, guys, go forth and be prosperous.
You said go for the multiply.
You're like, okay, Thomas,